addressed.
No, I didn't know because I was just like messing around with it, and then I put it on the phone specifically, so you can, but I can't add any more. So this is it.
So had I like clicked this from my computer, because I can access my phone from my computer, I probably wouldn't have been able to do this.
I think maybe you would. I don't. I mean, you want to try it? I can send over the thing again.
No,
Oh,
no, because I'm also doing stuff on my computer. I was just the way you said phone, and I'm the
oh,
only
I got it.
one.
Yeah, we're making some pancakes, bro.
What kind? Like American pancakes?
Just regular. Or
Yeah,
I
so
should
like
say
American style.
more like crepes. Actually, I made it too loose. So
Then feel Frenchy this morning.
yeah, ish. Honestly.
Get some bananas and some strawberries and be like an American feeling fancy.
All I got is blueberries. I don't think I have any. I don't got any strawberries or raspberries. False. I don't even have any. I don't have any berries. I have jams, so that's all I got.
Some jam and some sweet and sour cream. You got yourself a party.
Oh man, I wish I had sour cream, but I don't. I don't keep dairy at the house, so like I don't. I have yogurt. I can make it with yogurt.
So you want to hear two things on the horizon that I'm trying not to hold my breath for?
Okay.
The chef who used to teach at the college when I was the CDC of Bellows,
Yeah.
he bought the building that Bellows was in.
Oh wow.
I applied as a line cook for him,
Yeah.
but I doubt, just knowing the area and how rare a commodity actual chefs are in this area, I doubt he would use me as a line cook. But
Yeah.
if he does, then I'm a line cook. Whatever.
I mean,
So
how is the seasons with the markets for you right now, though?
what's that?
How is the season with the markets for you right now? Are you not doing any of the markets, or are you waiting till
Our
summer?
market shut down in the winter because, like
Okay.
right now it's -17 with the wind chill.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be doing markets. Plus our markets, I hate the term farmers market,
Yeah.
because it's like there's maybe one legit farmer that's selling their crops there, and the rest are people like me who just have their little license to sell home goods.
Yeah. I mean, that's unless it's like an actual dedicated farmers market, you're not going to see like a farmers market. It's just a term that they use now. There's
I
one in
know,
New
but
Jersey, an
you know
actual
how my
farmers
brain
market.
works. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know how my brain works. If I hear, like, I want it to be called something like a community market.
Yeah.
I want something that adequately describes what it is.
Yeah. I just found a farm to use the eggs in yesterday. So she just dropped off like 15 dozen for me. They look amazing. So
I Amy as a part-time job, which makes me feel like utter garbage that she's got 2 jobs and I have 0 jobs right now,
well,
other than when I substitute teach at a school. Um, which is why I'm really hoping for one of these 2 to pan out so I can
yeah.
feel like I'm contributing again. The other is a guy who decided to buy like a little, I don't want to say bar and grill. They do serve beer, but I don't think they're really considered like one of those places that you could go and just drink.
Okay.
He has been thinking of expanding into a higher echelon restaurant,
Okay.
but since he's not an actual restaurateur or chef, he's been fearful, and he kind of asked if that's something I'd be willing to do.
That's cool.
And I'm like, I got no money to invest in a business though. I was like straight up with him. I said, I can work for you for pay and everything.
Yeah.
And ultimately what you says goes. And he keeps saying like, No, like we'll be partners
Uh-huh.
because you're putting in all your experience, knowledge, and time, and I'm fronting money, yes, but you wouldn't be able to do this without my money, and I wouldn't be able to do this without your knowledge.
Yeah.
Part of
Is
my
he
brain
looking,
goes, "What's that?"
I was gonna say, like, is he looking more for like a partner or just somebody to run the kitchen?
I think he's looking for a partner because I think he wants nothing to do with the back of the house.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
But the skeptical, my skeptical little part of my brain goes, he's telling you what he wants to hear, and then when this happens, it'll be like, you're my employee.
yeah,
You'll
that's
cook
what I was gonna
exactly
say
what I
too.
want you to cook, and then I'm gonna have to do this thing where I sit here and go, you know what? I want to put sea bass on the menu, and then he's like, nobody knows what sea bass is. They want cod. Just put cod. If I wanted cod, I would have made this dish cod.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Like, if you were, because it sounds exactly what my intuition was, have everything in writing really specifically, like it's all separate. But I get it.
Yeah, no matter what, that's what it'd be like. Like the one thing it'd be like, the menu is mine and mine alone. Like the buck stops here. If I say that I don't want it on the menu, it doesn't go on the menu. You can suggest it, but if I ultimately sit here and say no, because if I'm having a restaurant that's somewhere between the quality of Applebee's and and well, ever where I
Yeah.
worked, and you sit here and say, I really think we need to put a bacon cheeseburger on the menu, I'm not going to put that on the menu. And I also don't want to do like, I'd be willing to do a tasting menu
Yeah.
eventually. Like I'll make one up to be like, when we finally get on our feet, we will introduce this tasting menu. But it'll be like, if we're open 6 hours a night, it'll be two per night because we'll have only one table, which will I don't know. I in my mind I'm thinking like it'll drive the demand for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said your town is a lot of like meat and potatoes, pretty much, right? That's what everybody kind of associates with your town
So here's the
or
thing from
area.
everything I've heard is the farmers in their nature, they view food less as an experience and more as, I need something
Sustenance.
to fuel me so I can go back out and work again.
Yeah.
So for them, yes, it's very much a, I want meat, I want potatoes, and I want to leave.
Yeah.
But their wives are the ones who are like, but now we just got all this money from the harvest.
Yeah. Let's eat
We,
something nice.
let's go and let's have a nice dinner.
Yeah.
So it's not that we don't have the demand there. The demand is there. It's just people, we don't have restaurateurs in our area
Yeah.
and chefs in our area. We have cooks and restaurant owners. And I say it that way because they are so afraid of going any like taking a step outside of the box, because if it doesn't work, then they're out all that money that they tried.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing it as, yes, but at least we tried.
Yeah.
And
Well,
oh, hey, this might actually work, and it's something nobody else in the area does. So instead of getting people who try, we have like 7 restaurants who basically have the same menu.
yeah, that's the tough part. Everyone's a little cautious. I get it.
I get cautious and I get being stupid about it to the point where you no longer want to innovate anything. That's how our industry would die.
Yeah. Bro, tell me how, like, because, like, I'm friends with a lot of the reporters in the state. and like all the restaurant. Obviously, they have to cover all these restaurants, and on my feed consistently because I follow them. New burger joint, new pizza joint, new. I'm in New Jersey, so it's literally so many Italians per capita in this fucking town, and it's just like another Italian joint. What does the menu have? Literally the same menu that the other Italian joint has, or like the same pizza menu that the other pizza menu has. So it will
See,
forever
and I
be
get
that.
that. I get that. And when I made that joke the other day of two nude dudes, I'll do Italian, you do Asian,
Yeah.
and you laughed, it did make me think like in a world where I could convince Amy to like move out to New Jersey,
Uh-huh.
if we applied my idea of having like an Italian style Subway where you do all those pastas and everything to your Asian noodle concept, kind of
Uh-huh.
like the chain Noodles and Co.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, how Noodles and Co. used to be. Noodles and Co. has kind of gotten to be pretty fixed menu lately.
Is that like a West thing? I don't think I've ever heard Noodles and Co.
So Noodles and Co. is the title kind of says it all.
Yeah.
It's everything noodles. So like you can have udon with spicy shrimp, or you could have spaghetti and meatballs, or you can have fettuccine alfredo, or you can have yakisoba.
Yeah, everything
If it's a
noodles.
noodle, if it's a noodle, they have it. And
Okay.
I can't, I haven't looked, but I have this image in my head that Noodles and Co. used to be, you could be like, you know what, today I want yakisoba with a marinara, and I just want to try that, and I want to try it with maybe some shrimp,
Yeah.
and you could do it that way. And now it's just like a fixed menu, like this noodle with this protein.
Oh, they don't let you customize anymore, you're saying.
Yeah,
That's
but I could really see a place, especially out in like Jersey, like a Noodles and Co. Then,
yeah.
but where like you have noodles despite their region,
Yeah.
sauces despite their region, all of that, and you can make your own. Not like a Mongolian or hibachi grill,
Yeah.
where like you get all the stuff, but more like a Subway where you go, I want that, I want
Yeah.
that, I want that, and then they throw it in a
Make it
pan, they
everything.
cook it.
I mean, I'm telling you now, there's nothing like it. It's the only thing that's kind of close to it. Well, not really. Is there a company out there also called Macaroni Grill by you?
I know we used to have one in the southern suburbs of the Twin Cities.
Okay, but you're aware of Macaroni Grill ish.
Well, yeah, because remember
Yeah.
Kyle even pointed it out that a
Oh, that's
lot
right.
of
Yeah.
Bella's menu is just basically a ripoff of Macaroni Grill.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's the closest that we'll have here in Jersey for that. But it's not even that style. It's like you still choose the stuff that you and then they bring it to you. But like you don't get to choose like I don't want to say a la carte, but like almost like Chipotle style or like Subway style. Like you're picking it on the go, which gives it like a different dimension altogether.
Yeah. I don't
I
know.
thought it
Like
was
in
thin,
both,
but it didn't come out. So it's more like just a flapjack. Not too crazy.
that actually looks like a standard pancake to me.
Yeah, that's what I said too. I was like, oh, look at that.
Because I think nowadays people have like hybridized American pancakes with Japanese style
Yeah,
souffle
yeah, yeah.
pancakes.
The play cakes, yeah.
So they want these thick ass pancakes, but that's not traditionally what an American style pancake is. An American style pancake is exactly what you have there.
Mm-hmm. I
Thicker
prefer
than a
these,
crepe.
but like I thought I made
Yeah.
crepe, like just because the way the texture is, but surprise, color me surprised, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna eat all of this, but like Caitlin likes, like I'll eat maybe like a couple of them, and then later she likes to snack on these and take it to work. So I just make a
Oh,
big
see,
batch.
no, like when we make pancakes, I make a huge batch and I'm like sitting there for like an hour straight making pancakes.
Yeah.
But then I'll take
Those are
like
thick.
2 of them and I'll do a loose vacuum seal and throw them in the freezer.
Yeah.
And then kids want a quick breakfast or snack and a homemade frozen pancakes you pop in the microwave or pop in the toaster.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Bro, okay. So you want to hear something funny? One of the comments in the YouTube one, it made me laugh. And I was like, these people don't know about the frozen dumplings. They're like, oh, everything is frozen. I'm like, yeah, dude. Because, like, I don't know if you knew, the texture holds better if you freeze it, but like, they don't know that. I just kind of laughing internally as I was reading the comment because, like, these people just have no
You make
idea.
them fresh because I swear to God, I've seen a TikTok of you actually making them.
Yeah, no. But, like, again, they don't know, though. So it's just like, this
But
is
then you
maybe,
freeze them afterwards.
yeah.
Okay, now I'm tracking. I thought
Yeah.
you said you bought frozen
Oh, no. So they were,
dumplings first.
I think in their brain, they think it's just store bought frozen because you see on my video, I take it out of my ice chest pretty much, and then cook it to service. But like I understand from their perspective that they didn't know it was. I did it before, par cooked it and then froze it because the texture is a little better. And then like two, it holds even longer because I have like 4 or 5 months to mess around with it until it goes kaput. But like it doesn't last 4 or 5 months. It lasts like maybe I don't know 2 weeks in my chest. So yeah, it's just one of those silly things that obviously industry people know, but the regular
I was gonna say, but like there was a couple times, and I hated doing it for Bellows. It sold and everyone liked it,
yeah.
but I hated making fried ice cream. Nobody does fried ice
Oh
cream
yeah,
around here.
perfect. Yeah.
But I'm such a stickler for perfection
Yeah.
that like I would take the portion scoops and I would make the perfect half sphere, and then I would take 2 of those, put them together, refreeze them. Like it took me like 3 days to make this for like 6 portions.
Yeah.
Because once again, heaven forbid I'd have to have like 12 portions, and then they'd get, despite the fact that I'm like, let's make 6.
Yeah.
And then they'd get angry that they didn't sell all 12. I'm like, that's not on me.
Yeah.
Because everyone who bought it raved about how much they liked it. That's on your servers for not selling it.
It's just fried
That's
ice.
on you for not pushing it.
So silly.
And yet they're so quick to, well, you made something they don't like, and then they'd forget that the next time let me do only 6.
Yeah.
And when somebody says, "Hey, that looks really nice. Can I have some of that?" "Oh, I'm sorry, we're sold
Yeah, we
out.
don't have it. Yeah, we don't have
We'll
it.
see about next weekend about if we can get it on the menu." That'll drive demand. That's what I'm saying about people in this area. It's like they have neither the college education nor the education from experience in the industry to
Yeah.
know why, to sound like a narcissist. They have neither the college education nor the experience to know why it would behoove them to listen to somebody like me.
Well, everyone's kind of quick to point a finger. I get it. But like
Yeah.
also when you've been doing, your specific field for so long, you kind of know the trends and up and go. But what do I know?
Yeah.
I keep saying like I only make noodles, so people keep asking for more stuff. I'm like, yeah, but you can go to my private stuff if you want. There's the higher end menu on that side that I get to mess around with.
Or ignoring the fact that early on in the TikTok days, you used to shoot from a high-end kitchen.
Yeah. I was just happy like he allowed me to do it. Because most
See,
of the
that
time
that
you're not allowed to.
that's the one thing that if he's trying to hire me as more than just a line, even if he is kind of hiring me as a line cook,
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can sneak in permission to do social media, provided it doesn't like interfere with me doing my job.
Yeah. See, that's the whole reason why Brandon stopped doing his thing in his shop because like I think he explained to me somebody saw the logo and corporate was like, yeah, it's cool, but like stop it. So I was like, that sucks.
Oh, the one in California, not
The
not
one
his
in Colombia.
restaurants he owns now.
Correct. He owns that restaurant, so he don't give a fuck. He's
Well,
all about.
and not I would even argue he should give a fuck and he should continue to do it, because in this day and age, like if I go to the Atlantic place
Yeah,
and I start doing this, I'm not saying that it's my ugly mug that's going to drive people there,
yeah,
but showing the food and everything is what's going to drive people to, oh, hey, I'm actually in that area. I should go
yeah.
try that place.
That's exactly why I do.
I don't think your noodle shop would be as popular if you didn't post all the time.
Yeah, me too. So got to keep at it. You know, hopefully you get seats soon, because that's my main crutch right now. A lot of people want to come out, but they can't sit down, so they get put off, and I get it. But
I
like, you've been
haven't
out already, you know, like just order the food.
on that, yeah. And your food doesn't even take that long. So even if they did just walk in and go, "Hey, can I place an order?" Oh no,
Yeah,
you have to go to the app. All right, I'll just bring it up real quick.
yeah.
Can I wait around here? Your food does not take that long.
That's not.
I mean, granted, like when I was there, you did not. Did you put veggie in ours, or was it just the
No,
broth and noodle?
I was just broth and noodle.
Yeah, but even like looking, like trying to extrapolate how long it would take if you did put the veg and the meat in, I don't think that would have added that much time to how long.
No, everything is already pre-done. So like, and that's
Yeah.
not. There's a second comment too on the YouTube stuff. They're like, why does it take so fast? I don't know if you understand like how this specific cuisine needs to execute like this. Everything needs to be already cooked per se, and then you're like just finishing it. What you need to make sure of is the broth and the noodles to be absolutely perfect.
Well, and like with pho, like at a pho restaurant,
Yeah,
everything's so sliced so thin
yeah,
that it cooks in the broth.
correct.
So yeah, I have something that you and I might disagree with, but that's
Oh,
been bugging me on Facebook.
oh,
So
I'm not on
lately, ever
Facebook.
since, what's that?
I said I'm not on Facebook, so I don't know.
I mean, you are kinda.
Well, because they Instagram, you know, Mr. Zuck
Oh,
owns
I
it, so
see.
they get it.
No, I see. That makes sense why you never respond then.
I don't. I have no idea what's happening. I don't have an account. So like
Well,
whatever I post on
but
IG.
you have Instagram, so you kind of know how like Zuckerberg bent the knee to the king.
Yep.
Um, and ever since then, now I'm starting to get a lot of the whole. I used to always get the whole like, look, it's an $89 meal, and the guy tipped me $4.
Okay, I got you.
And before it was like comments like, wow, that's disgusting. But now it seems like with the new administration and their policies,
Yeah,
now I'm getting the whole, hey, I shouldn't have to pay a tip. I shouldn't have to pay your wages
yeah,
to just so you can get by, which I agree with.
yeah,
Because some of them like to quote how like we're one of the only countries in the world that demand you tip your server.
yeah.
Like it's mandatory. Which I get. I've lived and visited other countries in this world.
Yeah.
And like when I lived in Japan, one of the specific things they told us is you do not, like, not only you don't have to, but absolutely do not tip these people.
Yeah,
It is an insult to their way of life.
yeah,
Um so I get somewhat where they're coming from, and in a perfect world, I would love to own a restaurant where I have servers where I can pay them a living wage.
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not thinking of something, and you've
Okay.
been an owner now for some time, so maybe you're seeing it from a perspective that I'm not.
Yeah.
But I think it's a moot point to argue about tipping because you're complaining about having to spend extra money. Like, I'm already spending $90 at your restaurant.
Yeah.
Why do I have to then turn around and give an $18 tip at least just to eat out? One, you know you're gonna have to tip in our culture.
Yeah.
So if you can't afford that, don't go out to eat. And two, where do you think that money to pay your server a living wage is going to come from? If you're not tipping them, they're just going to make your meal more expensive.
Correct.
So instead of the $90 meal, you will be paying $108 for your meal.
Yeah.
So that they have that money to pay their servers the living wage.
Correct. I would just build it into the price. And it all just
But
changed,
that-
like it just needs to
But
change it in terms of like how you view this stuff. That's how what my takeaway this after doing it for so many years now. You really,
yes,
if you
but
really want to
that's
make
my
it work,
argument is these people who sit here and complain about tipping on such a large bill.
yeah,
Not even like $90. Let's say you went out to eat and you got away with a $20 meal, which I don't know any sit down restaurant now that you can get away with $20.
minus $20.
You're not a sit down restaurant though.
That's very true. I mean, even if I were to, it would still be $20.
For one person?
Mhm.
Okay, but that would still be $4 tip if you had a server who would get tipped.
Correct. But since I don't, it's already built in the Gucci.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is just a hypothetical for this instance.
I got you.
People who would go eat at your place would complain like, why do I'm already spending $20 for a bowl of ramen?
Yeah.
Why do I now have to also tip your server $4 for bringing it out to me?
Correct.
And so you go, all right, I hear you, but now you're charging them $24 a bowl.
Yeah.
All because they didn't want to tip.
Yeah.
So they're not getting it cheaper like they're arguing.
Correct.
Am I correct?
You're not getting it cheaper. You're not getting it cheaper. You know, I had this conversation with my sister. She's an avid server, and I was saying like instead of the argument was I reposted a thing that I didn't support. So it was a restaurant already charging auto gratuity on parties of one or more. One
Amy
or
showed
more.
me that.
Yeah. Okay. So like just build it into the price if you're gonna do it that way. Because that's sketchy. Because they don't tell you one. I spoke to my friend who dined in. They're like, they didn't let him know. The service was moot, if anything. They didn't do the waters, and they were entitled, the servers that were doing the servers, and there was like four of them at that day. He was then saying like, so what? Like it's all the gratuity, so you shouldn't give a fuck. So that's what happens when kind of it's planted like that. So I had a big problem with it.
I didn't see this post, but didn't they also then have a tip line?
Yeah, and then there was also a tip line underneath it. So that's where I got that's where I got upset. I'm like,
I could understand the auto gratuity and then not have a tip line because it's almost like we are going to force your tip.
Yeah.
But then see, to me, if you have a mandatory auto gratuity and then a tip line where you can then tip them in addition, oh, I agree with you. Then why not just build it into your price?
Correct.
So that the customer doesn't even see that you're charging them more.
Correct.
But then it raises the question, if you are making them then tip on top of, let's just call it what it is. if
Yeah.
you're making your customers double tip, then
Yeah.
where's that first tip going to? Is it going to my server or is it going to the owner? Because
Correct.
the
That was
owner
my
didn't
main
see
issue.
shit.
That was my main issue. That the restaurants being sketchy with the wording, they can because they're allowed to. And I believe that it's just going directly to the owner instead of the actual server. Because there's still, state of New Jersey, it's still just server rates. So I believe the servers don't even know, in my opinion. 100%. That's what my
And when
big
did this,
issue is.
at the risk of making this a little political,
Mhm.
when did this go into effect?
Oh, I mean, like it's always been like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
just because with both sides of the political parties saying they're going to stop taxing tips,
Correct,
my
correct,
brain goes to, did he implement this? Because
correct.
then he can collect money that he doesn't have to take taxes off of.
100%. So like it's in New Jersey, I mean, for forever you can do this. They didn't have to tell you anything. But now I believe the new owners per se that are now opening the new restaurants, because I'm also getting a lot of comments where this is normal now. I was like, what do you mean this is the normal now? It shouldn't be normal, first of all. It's auto gratuity on your checks. And I have such a big problem with it. I do not I think that's so sketchy. And I believe that the front of house don't even know that I believe their wages are getting cut from them because the auto gratuity is already taken into effect.
Wages are cut,
Not cut, but like
or
the owners are.
there's more money that should be theirs that they're not getting.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
100%. That was my main issue. That's why I was upset about it. So
Okay. So the second part of my whole gripe is, I guess, well, because in mine, and I didn't post it because I was like, I don't know how this would play out for me. I could come out looking like a real asshole
yeah,
and like shooting myself in the foot if any owners that ever want to hire me see it.
uh,
Because I stated, like, not every owner is greedy when it comes to money,
yeah,
but that stereotype is there for a reason.
very correct.
Like if an owner of a restaurant can sit here and go, hey, if I switch from Maine lobster tail to slipper tail, my guests are not going to notice the quality, but I will notice the increase in my profit margins.
Yes,
So he will do that. Or I can pay this new cook straight out of high school bare minimum wage for doing the same amount of work as I'd have to pay like a CIA trained chef.
hmm
So I'll just hire the high school kid because I won't have to pay him as much. You know, I don't want to say it's an evil necessity, but it almost is an evil necessity to running a restaurant.
People take advantage of it. I get it. I totally
They
get it.
do. But at the same time, you live in New Jersey and you get or you get butter flavored simple syrup.
Yeah, yeah. Because I can't have dairy. I don't want to. It makes me.
No, that's not what I mean. You live closer to Vermont than I do. You
Yeah,
should have a better supply of maple syrup, and you pulled out the fake garbage.
bro, I love that stuff, man. Shout out to Aunt Jemima. I
Can't call
love
her
that.
that anymore,
I
can you?
of course I can. I grew up with it. I just wish like they kept it, but they didn't.
I I grew up on the right side. I
They still say formerly Aunt Jemima, but like to be fair, I do have Vermont. I do have the fancy stuff somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but I do have it. I promise.
It should be in your fridge.
No, it's unopened. I haven't opened it yet.
Oh, never mind then. Then it's
Yeah,
fine.
it's still in there somewhere. I gotta clean my pantry at some point, but nope.
So I grew up conservative, Republican,
Hmm
and with Amy, and living in an industry in an area and working in an industry, frankly, that those do look kind of crepe-like toward the edges.
Right? That's what I meant. So like at some point,
The middle kind of looks thicker like a pancake, but that's very crepe-like.
maybe like in the middle, it's a little better, but same thing. Tastes good.
That's all that. It's your personal food. It's not like you're making me for guests at a restaurant.
I'm like, this is great. I don't care.
You're not working a Sunday brunch line.
Correct. Bro, I made hollandaise the other day, and it split on me, and I was just like, I don't care. It still tastes the same. Who gives a fuck?
For your home though?
Uh-huh. I was like, I can do this.
I want to get agar for my house. I'm definitely if I get this if I get into the Atlantic place, I'm gonna try to convince him to start putting more molecular gastronomy chemicals in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And not going overboard like some of the Michelin restaurants do.
Yeah.
But just incorporating it here and there into one or two more popular dishes. Like taking, if they want a lemon sauce, just taking that and turning it into a microsphere.
Correct. It's just good to have. Like it's a good practice, even though it's not necessarily chemicals. Everything is. I mean, you know this, we know this, but people don't know. But like xanthan and agar, there's such good hydrocolloids to add into sauces because they don't break. So I think the only one that I don't have at the shop is agar. I have everything else, at least for what I do. So I have xanthan, I have citric acid, I have transglutamate, I have
you mean transglutaminase?
Yes, that's what I meant. I have soy lecithin for the vinegars, but I just don't have agar. But like, I will get it at some point, but I haven't the need to because the xanthan just does just as good.
You don't need agar if you have xanthan.
Correct, but sometimes I don't
want. It's kind of like you explained soy. Since this is what my degree's in, it's kind of like how you explained when I was confused about liquid aminos and soy sauce.
Yeah,
it's either or.
Correct.
Xanthan gum and agar are either or.
It's the same. Yeah.
You would never need both of them. It's not like this works better with agar and this works better with xanthan.
Mm-hmm.
They both do the same thing. It's just which you prefer.
They both do the same thing. I believe because I'm just I haven't put the muscle into exercise in so long. So like, I believe the agar, you need to have it in a little bit of heat before you kind of put it into your liquid. The xanthan, you can just go right in.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And xanthan works more efficiently if you treat it like a starch almost.
Yeah.
So you can put it in dry into your liquid and it'll work. But if you turn it into a slurry, it'll be more readily available.
Yeah.
Like those I think they're polysaccharides. Those polysaccharides will already be bloomed, and so they'll already be more readily available.
Mm-hmm. Like on me, on my video, I don't show what's in it. It's just called starch water that I add to my dishes, like the drunken noodles or the beef patties. It's essentially like a quart of water with a teaspoon of potato starch and like, I don't know, 2 grams of xanthan gum. Literally already all mixed up.
Potato starch?
Potato starch.
Not rice starch?
Not rice starch, because I don't want it to rice. Like if I were to use high gluten rice flour, I should say, it doesn't bind as good as if you were to use, or rather, I would
rice
use
flour, literal rice starch, just like cornstarch or potato starch.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, you call it rice flour?
Rice flour, yeah.
Oh, okay. So just a different.
Just a different.
terminology. Okay,
I
I'm
didn't want
tracking now.
I want to use it in liquid form because, like, if you use it just raw and you put it in, it works. But I feel the grain in my tongue, and I don't like it.
That's because
But
it clumps up a
correct,
lot like other starches.
yeah. But like, I know if I did it, the regular people won't know. So like, it truly doesn't matter. It's more of a personal preference for me. So that's why I use it in liquid form. But I do add xanthan to my little slurry per se that I add into the dishes to
To
just
help bind.
bind for like the last 20 seconds, if that, just to give it a gloss. It'll never separate, and it's amazing. That's my little trick. Maybe I should make a video about it. Be like, hey, this do it.
Tapioca starch will give it a nice sheen if you want to
Yep.
switch over to that.
I also do use tapioca. So my breading flour for the chicken, the katsu, it's 3 flours. So it's tapioca, potato, and rice flour, and it's all equal parts. And I don't use all-purpose flour. It's just those three specifically with some spices, and it's a wet batter. This is how I omitted the egg because before you would use an egg to give it the rise per se when it hits the heat, but like I found out I can just omit it completely, and it will encase the protein. So like I found the correct mix, and now I just do the batter sans egg, and it works perfectly every time.
And it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm. My
See,
God,
I'm okay with cheaper if you don't sacrifice quality, but
yeah,
what I'm noticing in the industry lately is a lot of people will sacrifice quality because it's cheaper.
yeah.
I don't like that. Either sacrifice quality or go cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do
How
both.
much are I know we keep going not necessarily politics, but like how much are eggs right there, or for you right now, if you don't mind me asking? Last time you checked,
The last time I checked, like 273 for a dozen.
that's not bad.
Yeah, but we live like I could throw a stone and hit a farm.
Can you guess how much my eggs are by here in New Jersey?
I know you said it in one of your TikToks before the ban.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got a gross of eggs or something, or whatever that industry standard crate is that we always get.
For a dozen
But I
eggs.
can't remember.
Give me
So
a
I
ballpark number for a dozen.
for a dozen on the East Coast, I think I've been hearing like upwards of $8.
7.49 a dozen. Isn't that crazy? A dozen.
But that's not politics. That's the
No,
avian
no, no.
flu.
Correct. No, 100%, 100%. But it's just
And that's
like,
like it doesn't matter if, and I'll just say it, it doesn't matter if Trump had gotten into office or
uh-huh.
Kamala, the
Mm-hmm.
prices would have been jacked up no matter what.
Yep.
Because because we had to call what like
So many eggs.
80% of the entire population of chickens
Yeah. But
and well all birds I should say.
so I'm working with a
And
farmer now, and I was
so
just like,
now
hey, just
yeah.
grow chickens. I really want chickens, bro. If I had land, like obviously I live in an apartment, but like if I had in a house and I had like a little bit of land, bro, you know how I would straight up have 4 chickens, laying hen chickens.
I want I'm trying to convince Amy to let us get a couple egg laying chickens and a
Yeah.
couple young broilers.
Oh, broilers would be cool too.
Um,
If you're a fan,
well,
yeah.
because I don't know if it's everybody in the industry, but I know a lot of them are starting to go on the trend of um I don't want to say farm to table because that's a gimmick. That really is
Yeah.
just a fucking gimmick.
Yeah.
But more like for themselves from farm to table, like watching this is what it takes to let's say this is what it takes to raise a chicken. This is what it's like to kill the chicken
Yeah.
until you finally get the nice little packaged headless footless bird.
Yeah.
And I want some broilers so that my kids can see, like, look, this food doesn't get to the table just because it magically appears.
Yeah, like this is how it actually gets to you, etc. 100%. All about
But Amy, well, yeah, but Amy's like, you really want to traumatize our kids, right?
that. You're like, yes, 100%.
Kinda. It's like I want them to know the importance as, let's face it, carnivores,
Yeah.
and that their food doesn't just magically appear. This isn't how a chicken looks in normally.
Sure.
And then so it's like a from a place of respect for the animal. I don't know.
No, I'm all about it. I am all about it. I've watched almost, I don't know, 40 videos on YouTube on how to make your own chicken coop. I can't wait, bro. I know I'm probably not going to have a house at some point, but like just knowing the fact that I can build it at some point, oh, gives me all the joy in the world right now.
And I know you don't like it. I know Caitlin would never agree to it, just like Amy would never agree to move to Jersey. But I'm telling you, prices in Minnesota, you can have your land, you can have your house, and you can have your land
Oh,
to have a little chicken coop, and it would probably be cheaper than what you're paying for rent right now.
oh no, I know. I 100%. We are as much as we keep saying it too though, but like we are a product of our environment. So we
Yeah,
really like the not the urban aspect of it, but like the city aspect of this stuff. Cause like as much as she wants land and to just have like a farm or whatever, and so much like me as well, I would lose my brain if I can't be like in a city, if that makes any sense.
how do you mean?
Like I'm just so used to living in the metro area here in Jersey, but like within minutes of New York City, that every time that we did go somewhere out to like vacay where it's like calm as like let's say like upstate New York, where there is no visible city within, I don't know, 40 minutes, I go insane. Like I absolutely lose my
Oh,
brain.
okay. I thought you meant you had to have like the constant noise,
That's
like
it.
that scene in My Cousin Vinny where he's trying to sleep and he's like, "What's that fucking noise?" Because it's like an owl, and then he has to go to prison just to get a good night's sleep.
I need it. I can't
See, so like that's why I like Minnesota. So we in the Twin Cities, we have the Twin Cities are literally just meant to be Minneapolis, St. Paul.
okay.
Okay. But when you talk to a Minnesotan and they talk about the Twin Cities, they could mean um, Minneapolis, St. Paul, or any of the suburbs surrounding it.
Uh-huh.
So if I say I'm going up to the cities, I could mean I'm going up to Minneapolis or St. Paul, or I could be going to Eagan or Farmington or Edina or Shakopee or
Mhm.
name any other suburb. And some of those suburbs, like Chanhassen, Farmington, they are an outskirt suburb.
Okay.
So you drive 20 minutes and you're in either St. Paul or Minneapolis. So
Okay.
you're close enough to the city, but you're far enough away where you actually have a nice yard.
Yeah.
You have be a hobby farm, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's where I'm trying to convince Amy to let us move to.
Yeah.
Because then she'll get her small town feel almost,
Hmm.
but I'll have the ability to open my own restaurant in like Minneapolis, St. Paul, or one of the closer suburbs.
Yeah.
I know I'll be successful because my fear is opening it up in a small town. I'll be opening it up to small town people.
Yeah.
And on our busiest night, it'll be like a slow night in a big city.
No, I feel you. But it could also be like if it's popping up, because like, so we visit this diner upstate New York, and it's literally middle of nowhere, and it's a diner, and it's in Phoenicia, New York. And when I tell you this diner gets hundreds of people, like out of nowhere, on like a Saturday morning or Sunday morning, we're like, where did all these people come from? It could be like that too. You know, you're so popular, you're so good at your stuff, that you're like,
Counter.
you
I
know,
understand what you're saying. Counter argument though, how long have they been open?
oh, they've been there forever. Yeah, they've
See,
been there.
I don't want that. I
Yeah,
don't want to be like 80 years old when I'm finally doing that and
yeah,
going, now I'm going to pass off a popular restaurant to either, best case scenario, one of my kids who are passionate about it because they grew up in the restaurant, or sell it off to somebody who might not see my vision or might not care to keep my legacy going and then changes it. Because we have a little coffee shop, the Left Bank Cafe, where I got my start as an actual chef. Like, I'm talking about a lucky day, we did 20 covers.
Oh wow.
You know, that was a busy day, right? But they loved my Reubens because I made my own corned beef, I made my own sauerkraut. I didn't get around to making my own rye bread, but that's mainly because the owner, who was kind of more like a mother, was just like, "You're taking on too much.
Yeah, that's
Just
too much.
just buy the fucking bread."
I was gonna say it's like even when I was doing the chicken katsusandos, right? Because I made everything, Jim. The milk bread, all that. But like
I
I know
remember.
my stuff is superior. Like literally, no one's gonna top my game. I made everything, and it made the articles too. So like, I know it's up to snuff. But like, I only did it for I don't know 3 weeks. Sold out every time, and now people are messaging me about it. I was like, you're gonna have to wait because one, it took so much effort, and two, I don't want to bake the bread. It just took so long. But man, I miss
See,
it.
mine wasn't necessarily because I had superior product.
Yeah.
I'll admit that. Mine was in the technique in which I executed the sandwich.
Well, I mean, it's still superior, you know?
Like a lot of people, they throw down. So like other restaurants, when my Reuben got popular, I will admit there were other restaurants who attempted it
Yeah.
because everybody wanted the Reuben.
Yeah.
But throw the corned beef directly on the grill that dries out your meat, or they would just like nuke it. That gives a rubbery texture to anything cured, in my opinion. I don't know if that's, I've never applied science to that. So what I would do is I would throw down, like I would literally scoop the sauerkraut, juice and all. I wouldn't try to drain it.
Yeah.
And I would throw it directly on a flat top. I would then throw the Thousand Island and then top it with the corned beef and the Swiss.
Yeah.
And then I would throw a cloche over it and let it all just steam.
Theme. Yeah.
And that's how I did mine. And I
Yeah.
never told anybody exactly the order in which I did mine, because I didn't want other people then taking that process and going, okay, I can go out and buy that pre-made corned beef crap.
Yeah.
And I can replicate his process and get something that's just as good. And because of that, a lot of people, like after a month of trying it, quit because they're like, we can't. Nobody wants ours because they keep going to the left bank.
Yeah.
And then, so I had to leave so that I could go get my PhD. And it was just like, I can't give you the hours you want when you're open and do class, because my classes are at the same time that you want me to be working.
Yeah.
And so it was a really amicable part on our ways. To the point where like I'm sitting here going, I should call her. She's retired now, but if she wants to do like a pop-up dinner together. But she went, like I said, she finally retired. She sold it to this young server that she had.
The
And
restaurant.
at first, I thought the restaurant, and the company name, all of it.
Oh, the business itself.
Yeah, it's now closed.
Mm.
To which I sit here and go, that's sad. You had this, I'll say it, you had this staple in our community for so many years. I think since the 90s. So 30 years, that's not something to spit at for a restaurant.
Yeah.
For somebody to take it over, and I think from the stories I hear, she basically went in wanting to overhaul everything.
Yeah.
Not realizing how expensive a total restaurant overhaul can actually be.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
Especially when this woman roasted her own coffee, sold it internationally, was actually a coffee shop, then had a little bistro attached to it, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah. And I think the girl coming in tried flipping it to more where it was almost like it was a bistro that had a little coffee shop on the side.
Yeah.
I don't think she knew. She had no experience with reading a P&L. She had no experience with, I think which in this area is what I just hate, because you get these people who sit here and go, I'll buy a restaurant. That's how I'll make easy money. And it's like, first off, it's not easy money. And second, you're not making a lot.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to buy a restaurant and become a overnight millionaire, you have another thing coming.
Yeah.
Even Gordon Ramsay, if Gordon Ramsay fell back on just his restaurants, he would not be worth millions.
Oh no, I know. He got lucked out. Which is good. Everyone deserves a shot. But like, I personally don't like the guy. But I mean, that's just me. It is what.
Why
it is.
don't you like the guy?
I think he's just too cocky, and if it's like, I feel like he's entitled when I don't know him personally, which is sad for me.
Yeah, but he
comes
put
off that way.
his life online, and I agree, he bought into his own bullshit, I think.
Yeah, I think I was just like, I don't know, man. It feels sketchy to me, so I don't.
So
I care less.
I think he is part of the reason why I kind of got into a Facebook battle the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody in one of like the chef Facebook groups said, look, I've mastered beef Wellington. I'm like, who cares? There's like a dozen different dishes that are more that taste better, are more technically skilled than beef Wellington will ever be. If you learn how to roast, you can make a fucking beef Wellington.
Yeah.
And it's because he rose to fame with his beef Wellington, which is, I'm going to say it, a fucking peasant's dish.
Yeah. Or just like how I feel about do you still see menus with like the lava cakes? I fucking hate lava cakes.
When it comes to lava cake, I have a love-hate relationship. I do think they are good. I will say that. If you can actually prove, to quote the movie Chef, that they're not just an underbaked piece of chocolate sponge cake.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think that it's just an underbaked piece of sponge cake, which I agree with that movie. And he had a lot of chefs give their honest opinion to form this character, to make him a believable chef. It is that you create a frozen center that will melt when it's baked.
Yeah.
And if you can prove to me that it's a chocolate ganache in the center, I'm all for it. I love it.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Yeah.
But if I discover that you took it from a box in your walk-in freezer, threw it in your microwave for 2 minutes, and threw it on a plate going, bon appetit.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Just get the fuck out.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you, but because we had lava cakes, right? And it's like one of our more popular dishes at the corporate I used to work in. But like, that shit was microwave, bro. We didn't bake that.
Yeah, I worked at Applebee's. at
Yeah,
one time
that's
because
how
I
we all
couldn't find
did.
an actual chef position. That's all they had.
That's
We would
all we did.
literally, if you got an order for lava cake, you would walk into the back into the walk-in freezer, take one of them out
Yeah,
of the box straight from the shelf, throw it in your microwave directly on the plate, call it good.
yeah. And then a little dusting
Applebee's
of
maple butter blondies were the same way.
powdered sugar on top, a little mint. I'm like, oh my god, look at this, it's so good.
I do
Uh,
want to try to find a way to make a Black Forest lava cake.
ooh,
So instead of a chocolate ganache oozing out, you get almost like cherry pie filling oozing out of the center.
yeah, it's already chocolate covered. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, the technique in itself is fine, but I just we can also have the same argument with like with my frozen dumplings, right? It's already par cooked, and then I'm refreezing it and then cooking it again to serve it. It's kind of the same if you think about it that way. But we both know this comes from a factory already all frozen, and then you did nothing to it and you just stuck it into your microwave.
Like some
But
places that serve pot stickers.
yeah. So it's just like I feel it, but at the same time, I know what I'm also technically doing the same for my pot stickers. So I don't know. I feel 50-50.
Do you buy your pot stickers pre-made?
The
You
only thing I
make
buy
them.
the only thing I buy pre-made is the wrappers because I'm not gonna roll out dough for the wrappers. Are you kidding me? I have to go through thousands of these. So I buy a case which is about 12 wrappers, which is about 800 pieces of dough. And that cost me, what was it at? $37, 38 bucks on those 12 wrappers. And then the meat itself, it's a mix of pork and chicken, so like 42 bucks. And then whatever
Question.
your mixes are.
Question about some products.
Mm,
And I don't know the steps in making your soy eggs. Could you buy already peeled soft boiled eggs, or
uh-huh.
are those prohibitively expensive?
No. So it's good that you mentioned this. So was it last year, 2 years ago? I did this event outside and I brought the eggs outside. This was like what they call a Dream Food Fest, like a large Asian festival
Okay.
outside in the summer. And my bowl, I was the most expensive there in that area. And we did like, I don't know, like 18 G's in the span of 3 days. And I was thinking for the next year, which is last year, I was like, there has to be a product already pre-bought and pre-done for the eggs. So all I have to do is marinate it. And I went back
Yeah.
to my website where I get it from the warehouse. And sure enough, they do sell pre soft boiled eggs that are
Frozen though?
frozen. I never went to like to check on how the quality is, but like I was intrigued because it's almost the same price if I were to do it slightly cheaper. The only thing I have to do is marinate it.
Yeah, but you'd be saving in labor cost.
Correct. So I didn't know how I felt about it, but I never went ahead and bought it. But
See,
it's
off the top of my head, that frozen component is what's
uh
kind of stuck to me.
yeah.
Because if you would say frozen raw eggs,
Yeah,
I'm all for it. You can freeze eggs and thaw them. But
correct.
frozen soft boiled eggs, I'm
This is
afraid
frozen
that they
chocolate.
thaw out to be a little mushy.
See, I don't know. That's what I wanted to find out. I was like, will this be the same texture or will this be just, whatever? So hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Processed soft boiled egg. This is crazy. Can I flip my camera? Yes, I can. So look, processed egg, soft boiled style, right here. It comes in
Why
bags
does
that
it
are
look like
frozen.
I'm looking at the yolk already?
So it's pre-sliced for you. It comes in frozen,
No.
just like
No. See, that would stop me.
that.
Because
It literally comes like that.
I've always admitted I'm a white boy and I don't
Yo, what up,
know
Sean?
anything about Asian cuisine, but for me, I would want to marinate a whole egg and then slice it to order.
No, correct. But like, if you think about it, what if it does come frozen and we thaw to service? I don't have to marinate and we just sell it that way, and it's cheaper than my
Then
labor.
yeah, but you're sacrificing your quality then because they're looking for that marinated egg.
Correct. But like, I'm always in a constant battle of what if, maybe,
No,
maybe.
I know. I understand that, but I'm saying in this specific case, if you can't find, I would almost be willing to try it if it was a frozen whole egg. I don't think I can accept it as an already sliced egg.
Yeah.
Because to me, yes, you could thaw it, but then you can't marinate it.
Mhm.
Because once you try to marinate it, you're going to lose the jammy yolk.
No. And then they have, so instead of that one, they have the onsen tamago. So I'll show you this one. This one, you're quick dipping that egg. Jem, this is Sean, by the way. This is one of my best friends. He used to be my sous chef at our restaurant. He's retired
At
now.
the old
but-
restaurant?
Yeah, at the corporate restaurant I used to work with. So look,
Oh,
comes
not
up-
not at the last restaurant you were at. Forget the name.
no, correct. Our corporate restaurant.
Okay.
So we worked together. Yeah. For like 8 years.
I haven't met him then yet.
So this one in its shell, already poached and everything. All you have to do is crack it, but also frozen.
I would be willing to try those because they're in the shell. But
Correct.
then they're back in the shell.
That's what I'm saying. So there's no middle ground where it can be like.
The whole point of this little thought experiment was to find something that was already fucking cooked and already fucking peeled.
You can't win. That's what I'm trying to say. You cannot win. So what do? I don't know. However, I do want to try ordering it. So when I texted my rep, I was like, "Hey, can I just buy it by the piece?" He's like, "No, you have to buy it by the case." So I'm like, I don't want a full case of this because like
I want the 6 count like the picture shows.
Just give me. I just want to try it. That way, I know for a fact maybe it could work, but I have to buy the whole fucking case. So for me, nah. But here's the second part. So you know how I make the actual liquor for the actual egg.
Yeah.
This comes up already pre-made for you. This same exact thing that I already make.
Like
The
know
poaching
it's
liquor.
your recipe or something? Well, basically your recipe.
Close enough to it, but obviously they have to use preservatives for this one because it needs to last on your shelves. But close enough that I don't have to use my stuff and I just have to use that. And it's cheaper than my products.
I'd go with it then.
That's what I'm trying to
That
say.
I'm okay with going with.
There's so many things about it. I'm just like, fuck, what do I do?
I'm okay with the preservatives because, like you said, that's just to make it shelf stable. That's not going to affect the quality. It's not like it's going to, unlike some people on TikTok, it's not going to cause cancer.
Correct. 100%. I'm the same way, likewise. They also have the chicken karaage, already pre-done, pre-battered. I don't have to mess with it, but it's frozen, which again is fine. But I just want to try it per pack, but they don't sell it per pack, so I have no way.
I don't know if I'm fine about that because, like at Bella Cucina's, we used to get those stupid chicken fritters, and I bet you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like it looked like they took a chicken breast, threw it through one of those industrial tenderizers, breaded it, and quick flash froze it right away.
Uh-huh. Chicken Capcut.
something like that. Yeah, and that's what we used for our chicken parm.
So
I
chicken bread,
used to hate when we did that.
sugar, yeast, bread, water, safflower oil. I mean, that's it. The ingredients all look perfect.
Yeah.
There's nothing crazy about it. Well, like, again, I just want to try one piece of it. There's so many items that I just want to try a piece of so I can actually try it. But I always have
See,
to
your
buy
rep,
them places.
you don't have a good rep then, because when
Yes,
I
yes
was
and no.
when I every single restaurant I ever worked at, I used to have reps that I'd be like, I don't know if I want to buy this without knowing the quality, and they would almost be like, "Hey, I'll be in tomorrow," and
Yeah.
they would have a sample that I could cook up and be like, "I don't like this," or and sometimes he would bring like two in,
No.
and then he would purposely wait until lunchtime, like right before the lunch rush or right after the lunch rush.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, try this. And I would make something and we'd like eat over lunch and he'd basically get a free lunch.
But like, you know what it is too? It's because, okay, to be fair, right? Solid revelation.
Yeah.
What was your
Yeah,
is
but
your rep like
yeah,
an
but
Asian
that rep,
company or an American
no,
company?
not an Asian company.
Okay.
He was also he got fired because he was doing shady shit because since I was a young CDC, I didn't know to look for this kind of stuff. So what he would do is he'd be like, listen, I can get you what's something that I would get a lot of. So like I can get you those breadsticks. Like, what are you paying right now? I'd be like 65 cents a breadstick. I can
Yeah.
get you those for 35 cents a breadstick if you get those. And you promise to buy them from me. So then I go, yeah, cool. I'll pay 35 cents a breadstick. And so I get the owner to go, yeah, that's cool. And then what he would do is he'd wait like 3 months. And then all of a sudden you're going, why am I paying 85 cents a breadstick? Because he gave me the discount for like 3 months and then he, without notifying me, jacked it up. He was doing that to a lot of restaurants. And finally the warehouse, after getting so many owners and chefs complaining, were like, you're done. I mean, this guy was driving back in like 2015, was driving a 2016 Mustang because he would do this stuff and then he would take a hit on his commission from giving it to us at a discounted price.
Bueno.
But then without telling us, he'd get that discount on the jacked up price.
I mean, again, it's the same. This is also coming from like my one gripe with this not the company necessarily. There's only a few companies that are like when you see their POS, like the way they order, it's still the green screen that looks like it's from the 90s when they're inputting their orders. It's still like that for this one.
Ooh.
I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? Why?
Do they also have a dot matrix paper? So you're like, can I get a receipt?
Dude.
Yep.
I'm like, what is going on? Just update your stuff. And I can't so the website itself is the website. I can't have like an account where I see prices. So I'm just like, how do I know what price is what? I'm signed up as a business, so I should see it. But every time I see something kind of cool or whatever, I have to be like, hey, item number or whatever, can you give me prices on it? And he doesn't get back to me after like 2 days. I'm like, bro, you're the worst. I just want to see the stuff. So let's just say they're behind on
Everything.
Yeah, they're not as they're not as updated every other restaurant chain.
Yeah, but at least they're not like Cisco where you have to. I hate some of these companies that don't want to play ball with the smaller boys.
Yeah.
If you're not doing $10,000 in sales a week, we're not even going to take your account. Yeah. Then fuck off.
Bro, that's what Toast is. Like I think because they quoted me, they're like, you need to generate like 20, 30K a month for you to have the service because like they integrate everything. I'm like, bro, fuck out of my face, dude. What do you mean? You're
I
just
think
a POS.
if so like now I've had one season to kind of establish my little cupcake brand thing.
Mm-hmm.
And whether I get this job or this new restaurant or not, I think I still want to try to do the cupcake thing.
Oh, of course.
Um, if I generate enough sales this season, then next season I think I'm going to upgrade from the little handheld one that you showed me that I got.
Mm-hmm.
That's around here somewhere. That's probably dead now. Um, and I'm going to upgrade to the more card terminal looking one.
Yeah, you definitely can. Like,
Because I think something that held a lot of my customer base back was that since I bought the tablet so that they could see everything better
yeah,
versus my phone that I was starting out with.
yeah.
But I think one thing that kind of hesitates a lot of Midwestern people is we want that whole putting the card in or tapping it and then being able to press buttons on a little terminal versus doing everything on the phone.
I guess.
Like I
I
said, one thing that somewhat annoyed me with you guys on the coastal areas
mm,
is I think you failed to realize that it really is a cultural difference between you guys in the Midwest.
no, I know. I was about to
Like I
say,
remember when we had a conversation about me opening a physical sit-down restaurant, you and Kyle absolutely just attacked me and like that's not what the industry is going to. I'm like, I don't think you realize that the Midwest is 20 years behind you guys. I could open a sit-down restaurant and be just fine.
yeah, yeah. It's a lot different.
And then Brandon goes out to middle of nowhere Montana and opens 5 of them, and your guys are like, cool. I was
No,
like, screw you
I
guys.
was also against them. I was just like, Brandon, just do it normal. And then we were talking prices. Dude, he was doing a 5-course menu for $78. I'm like,
Yeah,
how? What are you talking about? But prices. I get it.
I could get away with doing a 6-course menu for $65 out here and still make bank.
Weird. Completely weird to me. This Sunday I have a Wagyu dinner, but I'm not using A5 Wagyu because like I don't want to charge these people $180 just for them to feel full.
Sorry, I think I am oversaturated with the fucking term Wagyu.
You're just like, nah, fuck it.
Brandon is partly the reason why.
Uh-huh. So I'm using American Wagyu, grown here in the States. It
This
is
is
not
not
as
fucking
fatty,
Wagyu.
correct, but it's more like a branding thing. But like, does it taste the same? In my opinion, yeah. Swagyu, yeah, swagyu. So instead of charging $180, I'm only charging $120, and you're giving like 4 ounces of meat. That's not very much for their dinner.
But that's how Wagyu was meant. When I lived in Japan, I used to eat Wagyu, and it was served in like sushi restaurants where they would literally they would slice it thin like sushi and then 1 2 here 1 2 here, or some places used a blowtorch just to lightly touch it,
Yeah,
and that's how they served it. We
yeah.
did not, and you would get like 2 to 4 ounces a portion. You would not get an 8, well, not even 4 ounces. I bet it was like 2 was a large portion in
Yeah,
Japan.
two's a large. Yeah, no, 100%.
And we would not get like, you would, if we had gone into any restaurants in Japan, maybe even nowadays, and said, "Can I get the 8-ounce Wagyu sirloin?" They'd be like, we don't sell it that large."
Imagine though. It's like, yeah, I get an 8 ounce. Okay, cool, $400.
Like some
And
of these,
people won't blink an eye. They're like, yes, 100%. Let's do it. I was like, what do you
some of these,
mean?
Yeah. Some of these TikTok bros, like Amy just reminded me of a certain knife throwing douchebag that I hate.
Oh yeah. We love him. We love Nick.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
It's like no, we don't.
No, we don't.
Uh,
He bought like a 23-ounce tomahawk wagyu ribeye. Why?
yeah.
You're gonna tell me you're gonna eat 23? I don't even like wagyu because of how much fat it has.
Yeah.
Like, wagyu is gross to me. And I'll be honest. I love Brandon. I owe him my current career, not my whole career, but certainly my current career, because I think I was stagnating, thinking I was a big fish.
Yeah.
And then he threw me into a big pond and made me a little humbler. And
Yeah.
I owe him for that. And I think he purposely did it because he was like, I'm going to knock this guy down a peg or two. I think he would deny it and be like, no, you wanted the opportunity. I gave you the opportunity.
I think he's being honest. I think that's maybe you just kind of realizing there's that like a bigger platform out there. Because like you've never really tried it. You know?
I didn't try it, which is why I wanted to try it. And I do I do think that had the Michelin Guide been in Minnesota, and let's say Spoon and Stable, which is known in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I mean, and Gavin Kaysen is known in the entire industry.
Yep.
Had they had like say a they're a 3-star restaurant in Minnesota, hypothetically. And Brandon got me into there because he did say, I can get you into Spoon and Stable. And I said, no, I want something on the guide. I want to say that I worked in the guide because a lot of people do, and I feel that's missing in my CV. Had I gone there to a Michelin star restaurant where like, okay, you have 2 days off, and then I could just drive home and be with my family, I think maybe I would have been a little bit more successful.
Yeah.
But I think being that far away from my wife and kids took more of a mental toll on me than I had anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
And I let that affect my work.
Yeah. I mean, it will always be, it will always take a toll on you, specifically when you're away from family. But like,
I know, but to be so far away over the 3 major holidays, because I was gone for, well, if you count Halloween, I was gone for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Like I left right before Halloween, and I got home on January 2nd.
yeah, it's tough.
So to be away from family in a foreign city, Chicago is about as foreign as you can get from small town Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And everything, like I was getting physically sick, all of that. And I don't know, part of me is like, wow, I feel not so much the young line cooks, because they can go fuck themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't respect any of my experience. In fact, they actually treated it as if I was like competing for the same position. Despite the fact that, well, they are.
Yeah,
but despite the fact that the couple who were like sitting here going, hey, can you just stay on? And I was like, no, I am here for this much time. And when my time's done, I'm gone. I don't care if you say you want to pay me $100,000. I got a family who does not want to move to Chicago, and I do not want to live in Chicago without my family. Something's got to give, so it's going to be me. I'm going back home. Yeah. Like I was very firm about that, but they still treated me as if I was the competition. Hey, you got to go faster. Hey, you got to do this cleaner. Are you aware you're talking to a guy who has never been in this industry, and I'm 40 fucking years old and you are 18? Shut the fuck up and get out of my face and let me do my job. Unless your name is Justin, or I just forgot the owner of the restaurant.
Dusty.
Duffy, yeah.
Okay.
Unless your name's Justin or Curtis, get out of my fucking face.
Yeah. That's how it always is.
And the one time I fucked up that Justin had to say something to me is because I forget if I undercooked or overcooked chestnuts. And he was totally nice about it. He was like, "No, it's okay. We'll have to redo it then."
Yeah.
But I was on it. I think it's because I was honest. He goes, "Have you ever done chestnuts?" And I said, "I've never touched a chestnut, chef. No, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing."
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds about right.
Just
But at least
like we've
at
always
least you
said.
got to do this stuff. When I did Michelin,
Yeah.
I was doing meats. That's all I did. I didn't touch any proteins.
Everybody did meat though.
No, correct. But like, where a lot of people when they say, "Oh, I've done Michelin," they're just like, "Oh, bro, you probably just did meats. Fuck out of here." It was never on the line. If anything. But
We were all on the. We all did me's. We were all on the line. We didn't get to touch like only a select few. Like only if you were prepping it on your station.
Yeah.
Could you do like cutting the liquid nitrogen frozen yellowfin tuna on the deli slicer?
Yeah.
But unless you were a sous chef, you weren't touching the pork cheek. Unless you were Curtis Duffy himself, you weren't touching that beef.
Yeah.
That's how it was. And I didn't want to. It's not like I want like I was doing I was a chef de partie, but I was doing a couple jobs at the skill level of the sous chefs because like when they realized that I couldn't keep up with that detailed work, like I was more of an a la minute type guy.
Yeah.
Then they put me on the side and they were like, "Hey, we need these pork cheeks. Just prep these pork cheeks
Yeah.
for the next day so it's less work for us now."
Uh-huh.
And then it was like I said, then it was like, great. So and all I saw was the negative. I couldn't see like I'm still getting this opportunity. So all I saw was I fucked up. So now I'm not on the line and I'm relegated to just doing fucking me's during service, like you said.
Yeah.
Instead of I'm still here. They could have asked me to.
Correct.
Like it doesn't cost them a thing to fucking fire me. I am no one to them right now.
I was more than happy to just do meats. I could care less to be on the line because I knew I was getting paid more than any of these people here, besides obviously the chefs, because they were probably on the same rates back then.
I know, but I was paying to be there.
No, I know. So like that's the difference. So for me, I give two shits. It's like, oh, you want to fire me? Okay, sure. Doesn't bother me one bit. I'm here to just literally learn. This is my PTO.
Like
I can move
Amy,
on to the next one.
Amy has said okay, she'd be okay with me if we could afford it, going out to Montana and doing a stage under Brandon.
I mean,
but
Brandon will pay you.
But not 2 fucking months. She's like, you can leave for 2 days.
Okay. I was like, Brandon will pay you because like they need chefs.
No, I know. But once again, unless I can bring my family with, it would not be fair to Brandon because I would not be able to give him my best. Eventually, it'd be like, I want to go home. I want to sleep in my own bed. I want to hug my kids, be next to my wife, and I can't. Yeah. And that would just pull a toll on me that I would not be able to leave at home. You know how we always say, leave your drama at home and leave work drama at work.
Yeah.
And usually I can, but when my drama is I'm missing home, it's really hard to leave that at the door.
Yeah, you're definitely too far.
Their work-life balance is everything.
My current sous chef is down in Florida right now, and he's training.
Is that the one I met?
Yes. So he's training at a Michelin restaurant. Finally, right? So he goes, well, "Is this really it? Like I'm just doing I'm tweezering shit over and over. I was like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's it.
And then he goes, and he goes,
Or
these people don't.
or did he have to buy the little like kitty scissors yet?
He already has it. Yeah. Like
And
I was
like
telling him,
the fucking microgreens and just snipping them.
so because he already trained under me, so he knows the stuff. So when he was put on Garmin J, pretty much, he's like above heads everywhere. Pretty much, he's sous chef level, right? So he goes the other day. I was like,
a party position.
he's higher. He's they're treating him almost like an exec sous because he goes one day. He's like, I think your P&L is wrong. These numbers are wrong.
You want to get fired?
I was like, you want to get fired? Don't fucking open your mouth. He's like, no, I can't live with it. So he like showed them, because like I literally treated him like an extension of me, and he knows how to do my job. All right. So whenever we did numbers on Sunday, he knows everything. You touch everything, etc. And I would show him numbers X, Y, Z. You're pretty much either you're percent or two off on the week. That's how we kept numbers, and he knows how to do the business. So when he was showing them 4 or 5% off on projections, it's because X, Y, Z. They're like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
I'm like,
but
I was like, don't fucking open your mouth, bro. Just work.
Keep your fucking mouth shut. Because once those guys get a star, their egos get so fucking big that they'll just be like, okay, goodbye.
Yeah. I was like, just work. Don't fucking just shut up. Just bid your time, do your thing. Whenever you're ready to move, let me know. Because he wants to also train with Brandon. So I'm like, whenever you're done, whenever you feel like you've learned enough at that facility or whatever, XYZ, let me call Brandon. I'll send you over. They'll pay you regardless. And then you train with Brandon. And then XYZ, Brandon can send him over to another spot, whatever. But he's having a blast over there right now. And he was just like, I'm working like 14, 15 hours and they're paying me overtime. I was like, great. Just do your thing, man. Get paid. You're young. He's 24. So you're young.
Is he
You already
single?
know the thing? Yeah, he's single.
See, that makes the difference right there.
Correct. There's no kids. There's no. It's just him. You know. And I was like, have fun, do your thing. Don't party too hard. Report to work, and just shut up. Tweezer the fucking things. Seasoned proteins, whatever. Just keep working.
See, that's the thing is like, I want to write Brandon. I know he's busy. I feel like I have something caught in my throat.
You're good. That's what I said, right, Sean?
I've been watching the books. Hire that man. He's already an employee though. So,
Yeah.
are you afraid that one of these guys are going to try to poach him though?
Oh, I don't care. He knows that. He's all about learning this stuff. So I don't care. I didn't really on day one. I was like, Murph, whenever you're ready, you let me know. I let you go. I don't want to keep you here just because of my selfish, just to keep you in my business.
I think that concept is lost to the generation, so to speak, about our industry. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't moving on just a natural and expected aspect to our careers?
Yeah.
Like, no matter what restaurant you were in, if you were there for like, unless you were one of those line cooks who were like, this is all I want to be. I only want to be a line cook.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were a chef and you were there past like 2 or 3 years, you were doing something wrong, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You were meant to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a commie was meant to, after like a year, be promoted or move on to a different restaurant where they can become a chef de partie and then a sous chef and then a CDC and then an executive and then like your own owner.
Yeah.
Like if you stayed in one place too long, you were kind of viewed as damaged goods, I thought.
Yeah.
And now I feel like people are like, no, I want you. I will only hire you if I can guarantee that I'll get the next 15 years from you working here.
Yeah. No.
I don't get it.
He also texted me. I think it was like a few days ago. He was like, "Bro, we just had it was like 600 covers because they had an opening night 2 weeks ago, and last week was their busiest night essentially. I think it was like a Friday or something." He was like 600 covers in about 3 hours, so 200 covers in an hour. And he was saying he was like the chill guy under fire. And he was like, I couldn't have done this without you. Everyone was freaking out. I was just like, no,
Still 200 covers in an hour. That's
it's insane. It's insane.
How large is their brigade?
There's 17 of them. It's a big,
Oh, okay.
big
So
kitchen.
that's a big kitchen. Never mind. I guess that's not. I'm like thinking like 4 or 5 guys, and I'm like, that's a lot of fucking covers in an hour, dude.
It's a lot. So like his main job, he's more like chef de partie and anything. He's bouncing around. But he was just like, it's only 200 covers, guys. He's so used to the way I kind of trained him. This is pretty much nothing to him. And he was just like, I don't understand why these people are freaking out. It's only 200 covers. I was like, I know. People don't understand it. And he was like, I've seen so many people quit that day because they couldn't handle that, even though they have 17 people on the line to push out. But it's just expectations. And
17 people on a line. That's basically. That's almost. I don't know how they have their kitchen set up, but that just sounds to me like 2 people per station.
3 people per station.
Then what the fuck are they talking about? If it was me and 2 other guys to knock out a station, dude, I could handle 200 covers in an hour.
That's what I'm saying. They don't make I hate saying it. They don't make them like they used to, or maybe the cooks have that maybe this is their first go around at an actual busy like restaurant ish. You know?
That's like you, Brandon, Kyle, all of us. We all say it, and Tony Bourdain used to say it too. Don't go to culinary school right away. Work in a fucking busy restaurant first, because what they portray on TV and what they show versus what they actually do are 2 different things.
Yeah.
Like, I think you and I discussed it when I was in Chicago about these guys who go to the CIA or Johnson and Wales, graduate, spend 1 weekend in a kitchen and go, this is not what I signed up for. Fuck this. And they leave the entire industry.
Yeah.
Or worse, they go off to an Applebee's and go, call me chef.
It's again expectation versus reality. So like they weren't aware, but my guy knows how to do all the stuff. So I was just like, see, I told you, you did good. Because like I was also mentioning to him, you ever realized whenever I put you on, I gave you just enough so you would freak out a little bit on the inside. And I won't necessarily tell you, but I'm always watching you, make sure you're not gonna literally sink the ship. But I'll give you just enough every time. And so you're like cool as a cucumber, pretty much.
I'll give you a life preserver, but I'll also be bailing water over your head.
Yeah. But he didn't understand it until literally now. Until he went to like an actual busy restaurant. And when he can do all the motions, even numbers, and fully loaded himself, he was just like, oh, I understand it now. I was like, see, you're good. You literally trained with the best. So this is my little nod off to him. I was like, there's nothing that will put you down. I promise you. You literally know how to do it.
Not to cut you down at the knees, this isn't what this next comment's meant to be, but I think out of everyone I know, I want to go train under Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I specifically said I wanted to go out to Chicago to learn how to plate.
Yeah.
I don't need to fucking know how to cut 3 millimeters of micro lime zest. And I don't need to know how to make a freaking microgram of cauliflower look this big. If I really want to get that detailed, I can do that on my own.
Yeah.
What I went there for is to learn how to plate. My plating skills suck.
Yeah.
And I can't find anywhere in any of our chef textbooks or online that explains a concept of plating. Like the one book, The Art of Plating, was like, well, if you have a square plate, you could do this. And it's like, yeah, but you're not telling me from start to finish that if I want to put a meal on this plate, I don't need you to tell me how to compose a dish with complementing and contrasting flavors. I got that. But once I got that, how do I go from there to when I send it out? Like, I can sit here and say, I want this sauce with it, and I want this sauce with it, and I want these veg and this starch or whatever. How do I get that on a plate and look good? And I think Brandon's the only one who actually knows me enough who would be able to, over a weekend or 4 or 5 days, be able to say, all right, this is exactly how I would do this. This is, and then the hands-on application for it to like cement in my brain the concept. I don't want to learn by copying somebody else's fucking plate.
Yeah.
And that's all I would have ended up doing out in Chicago. Whether it was Alinea, Ever, After, any other Michelin restaurants, they would have just been like, the chef did it this way, so you do it this way. That doesn't explain to me how the chef got this plate, though.
Yeah. But, just, I guess, learn by trial and error. But yeah, Sean, it's the same way. If you're kind of stagnating, off you go to the next one. That's how I felt about it. So like when I hired Murph, I was like, hey, listen, whenever you're ready, I can cut you loose. Not a big deal. No harm, no foul. It's okay. I want you to move on.
He should want, because did he actually cook before you?
No.
No, he didn't, right? So yeah, he needs to evolve.
Yeah.
It would be selfish on your part as the chef owner to keep him.
Correct.
And it would be stupid on his part to stay.
Correct. I was like, I'm just going to impart you all the knowledge on my end, and then it's up to you to retain it. And also, like, I keep mentioning to him, like, this is why we do this, X, Y, Z. Let me show you the numbers because X, Y, Z. And then I would repeat it every week.
I respect that. I love that. I love that you didn't just say, this is how we do it that way, but you said, this is how we do it, and here's why we do it that way.
Yeah, it was, I think he took a couple months for the numbers to stick because he's not seeing it on paper. I mean, I rather he's seeing it on paper, but not understanding. Because I also made him do reporting in orders. So when he did reporting, pretty much accurate because you're just taking numbers down. But when he ordered, he's not factoring what was sold and what was on the shelf. He would just be like, because like on my order list, on the par list, it just says this is what you need to have on hand. This is what you're going to order. He's not correlating why I put those two numbers together. So it took him a couple months until he realized, it's like, oh, okay.
It took him a couple months for that?
Yeah. Because he wasn't it was a little difficult.
I guess my first kitchen position, I wouldn't have put that together either.
He wasn't understanding.
By the time I got to ordering, that was kind of second nature. Like,
correct.
When it was my time, I was like, yeah, that's simple.
Mm-hmm.
If I need,
I would change the order sheet and be like, we don't need that one, XYZ. And then I wouldn't tell him why until after like a couple months. He was like, are you going to change this to this number? I was like, yeah, why? He was like, oh, because I noticed we're only doing this much. I was like, now you got it. Now you understand. He was like, oh.
I almost feel like, and you might disagree, but just the sounds of it, I almost think he shouldn't come back to you.
Correct. But like he just, it's part of, he's young too. He didn't give a fuck. He's just doing the motions, which is also fine. It's whatever. But I'm
Kinda.
always just like, yeah, I'm just like, this is why, etc. And then I just let him sink in a way, you know, with still keeping my numbers together for myself. And then until he finally understood, and he was asking questions like, okay, now you understand. So after that, I never questioned what he put in. We're gonna order it, and then I kept them in tab. I was like, remember last week when we ordered this? Did you notice X, Y, Z? We could have used a little more for this week. Blah blah blah. And like I was like, you can also play it even closer in hand if you want, because we're not doing X, Y, Z, and then you'll notice it on the number sheet.
So now you've been in business for a couple years, correct?
Yeah.
2 or 3? 3?
Three.
3. So are you finally getting to that point now where you can anticipate trends? Like we have, I'm just gonna throw out random numbers. They're probably not gonna be anywhere near yours, but like I have 20 orders of this, but I know that it's gonna be busier, so just this one time I'm gonna order 30.
Yeah.
You're to that point now?
Oh yeah, now we got projections, baby. Because now I have enough data.
Because I know it takes 2 or 3 years to start to see those projected trends.
Yeah, so like it kind of sucks in a way though, because this is made for this location, this area. So when I finally move to the actual location with seating in a different, more location specifically built for to go with dining, these numbers won't compare. So I have to switch again from day one on numbers on that sheet.
Entire projection.
Yeah, I think I have to
Wait,
switch
you
over.
have a new place you're gonna move to?
Yeah, yeah.
Will it be yours?
Yeah. This time it will be mine specifically, and there's no shared kitchen. I'm gonna have seats soon.
Is it that thing you talked about where like it looks like just a food court of an old school mall or something?
So almost, but this one will be like an actual sit down restaurant, 10 seats, counter space, like izakaya style. No, yeah, well, one booth maybe for a bigger table, but like I'm not gonna use it for anything else other than for the homies to come in.
But
Otherwise, you're
like
sitting.
no servers? Like you have to go up to you and order it still? Okay.
Yeah.
No, because when this ghost kitchen concept first came out, I was imagining places that were just like that looked like just a food court.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. That's what
Where
the original ghost kitchen is like a food court.
okay.
Mm-hmm. But this one, I want to start the first izakaya restaurant for ramen, like an actual one, not just a bootleg corporate one, where I serve you the stuff. You're coming in for me, the way we serve the service.
Yeah.
And
So then in that concept, then you could have like I could get a booth space from you or something.
correct.
Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of kitchens in one spot.
A lot. But it's not, again, just 10 seats on a counter. That's all you're going to mess with. And then one booth for a bigger party, but I'm not going to sit people there unless family members.
I wonder what a I guess it wouldn't be considered a tasting menu. It'd almost be what do the Italians and Greeks use? It's a specific term for like when you go from bar to bar and get just appetizers with your drink. Tapas?
Tapas. I was gonna say tapas. Yeah.
I wonder if you'd have like a tapas style tasting menu in a ghost kitchen if it would work.
Good.
They would
Yeah.
just sit at the bar and you would just serve their meal.
Small, yeah, small plates. Yeah. Could work. 100%. But like, I don't want to. You're just getting bowls.
No, I'm not saying you.
Yeah.
Because
I
like you said, I think you're out of the fine dining game.
I don't want.
You've done it. You're done with it. You just want to make nudes.
Yeah. It'd still be fun on a monthly basis to do the high end stuff.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
I'm not doing it.
I don't think the fine and dining days are behind me though.
I could tell that. It's fun.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, I'm good.
But like when we all used to get on, you, Kyle, not so much Rob, but Carlos, you used to all say like, you guys are like the down and dirty nitty gritty ones.
Yeah.
You got the beards, you wear the ball caps.
Yeah.
You know, you're like the down to earth chefs. And Brandon and I were the ones who were like, no, we got to be clean shaven. We got to have the whites.
Fuck that. I'm good. No thanks.
I don't know if it's my background as a Marine, my autism, or whatever it is. I need the crisp, clean linen.
Could be personal preference. I have one set of whites left. And that's from my old corporate. It still has my name, my title. I never wear it, but it's there just to remind me for more nostalgia purposes. But that's it. Otherwise, it's this. You're going to see me in a t-shirt inside my shop all the time, every time.
Yeah, I think maybe personal preference, maybe mentality. I need that change in what I'm wearing to feel like, okay, I'm in my whites.
Yeah,
now it's time.
Couldn't.
I think it would drive me absolutely batty if I just went in street clothes and tried to start cooking. I'd be like, I'm not ready. Because it, like, when we were younger, that was ingrained in you. Like, you don't get to work if I say it's time to work at 9, you don't get to work at 9 and start sharpening your knives and putting your uniform on. You come put your uniform on and it better be immaculate and your knives better be razor sharp. And you're standing in the kitchen going, what do you need me to do, chef? When it hits 9.
Yeah. Oh, you want to hear something funny? That knife I gave you, I still haven't sharpened it.
I'm gonna come back out to Jersey with some whetstones and everything. You're gonna go, Jim, what are you doing? I'll be like, where's the fucking knife?
It's still sharp, bro.
I cannot. It's not sharp. I could have had better cuts from your scallions by just taking my fingernail. You froze up. Oh, there.
Yeah. Off connect, disconnected. That's why.
Oh.
Yeah. But like, I don't use it as much, so it's just.
You don't use it. And like I said, I wanted to take my knife kit, and Amy went, "They're never gonna let you on with that thing." And I'm like, "Why not? Because you have a 10-inch fucking knife."
Yeah, no. Still the same. I think it's still sharp. I don't care.
So you know how old school chefs, like the ones who trained us, they had like their leather knife case, knife roll that they were very proud of, and they're like, "This is like 50 years old. I got it when I was an apprentice." And because I wanted to emulate that standard, out and spent $300 on a custom leather knife roll. And I love it. But Chicago made me realize that is so fucking impractical now.
Yeah.
Because like I get there with my big knife roll and my 13 fucking knives and tools and everything, thinking this is what I need to be successful. And they go, you got that drawer to keep it in. And I went, that drawer's never going to fit my fucking knife roll. And they went, then you can put it in your locker. And my locker is like this fucking big. And I'm like, so I had to go out the next day and be like, I need like a 4-slotted knife kit. And I need to find which knives I absolutely fucking need.
Yeah. So I got one knife to rule it all, and that's my Chinese knife. And
Your
then
cleaver.
a set of tweezers, 2, and chopsticks. Those are the only 3 I will literally bring to any restaurant.
You use tweezers still?
Only because, because the chopsticks is more for eating. 1. Number 2, the tweezers is for me to bread stuff specifically. Otherwise, everything I use my hands for.
Gloves? Just frequent watching. God, my hands would go dry if I watched that much.
No, I know. I every night it looks wrong, but like I have a bottle of Vaseline right here. As soon as I get home.
I have Old Spice lotion.
Or that too. My hands go so dry. It's cracked
I used to keep it in dry storage. Just because like between services I used to moisturize my hands because I remember Aaron when I was working under that D-bag. He used to get mad about how many gloves I used.
Yeah.
And I think I complained to you guys once on a live. Like, isn't this supposed to be something that he has to afford me?
Yeah.
Because like he was getting mad because I was switching him out between each order.
Yeah. You're supposed to.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're supposed to. And I had to ask you guys because I was like, Aaron was really good at gaslighting me. Like making me think that I was crazy for thinking it.
Yeah.
And so like my standard, because I have that tactile sensitivity, was I would wear my gloves, but then I could still feel that my gloves were dirty.
Yeah.
So I would take them off and I would have to wash my hands to make me like, even though I knew I'm wearing gloves, my hands are basic clean.
Yeah.
They clean enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one day he complained about me using my gloves.
Yeah.
I did say, or no, first it was, dude, you wash your hands too much.
No such thing.
I thought, disgusting that you think that's too much.
Yeah.
Because of the gloves, I'm only washing my hands half as much as I probably would if I didn't use my gloves.
Correct.
And then so when then he said, you need to either bring your own gloves or stop using so many gloves.
Yeah,
I'm spending a lot of money on gloves.
No way.
I then retorted with, this is like a physical, like this is a mental condition for me. And under the ADA, you need to provide these gloves. I don't care how much you spend. Yep. You need to do this for me to do my job.
Yep.
I didn't even go into the fact that Minnesota state law states that you have to wear gloves whenever you touch food.
Yeah.
And I didn't state the fact that guy was nasty, though. Like, he was the kind who would go dip his finger in a sauce to taste it.
I hate that shit. Hate that shit.
I fucking wash his hands afterwards.
That dude.
You were like, I know for a fucking fact you're gonna dip your finger in something else too now.
Yeah. Hate that shit. So without obviously having to talk about the guy that I'm working with, let's just put it that way. He would dip his finger into stuff to taste said stuff, no gloves whatsoever. Then would proceed to wear gloves to bread stuff. Do it, take off the gloves, and then still dip his finger and retaste the sauce.
Okay, that doesn't admit the fact that you just dipped your finger in the sauce before. Wash your grimy ass hands. First off, scientifically, I can say professionally, you shouldn't use your finger because the salts are going to affect the taste of whatever you're tasting.
Yes.
Secondly, that's just fucking nasty.
It's nasty.
I agree. Not like you said, he wouldn't wear a glove to dip his finger, but the vinyl or whatever material would also affect the taste.
Finger dipping on the line, yes. Double dipping finger.
Gross is an understatement. That's nasty.
Nasty, bro. So anyway, I wash my hands incessantly.
The restaurant shut down for that because all they have to do is say, "Oh, you had a case of food poisoning, and we saw him dip his finger in.
Yes.
He poisoned them."
So like if you ever, so my POVs that I release on the interwebs, you will see me touch almost everything with my hands. But like almost every order, whatever I touch something that I'm not supposed to touch ish, let's say my phone to take an order or to touch something else that I need to wash my hands, I will literally take a second to go wash my hands real quick and then go about my day. But still, no gloves. I'm still using my hands XYZ.
I think I will admit that if I touch my phone or like touch my pen to write something down, I won't wash my hands.
Pen is
But
okay
I'm
for me.
up for everything.
Yeah, pen is okay for me because I know I wipe it pretty much every time, like after I don't show that on screen. But my phone, obviously, since it lives with me into my pocket, whatever, whenever I touch it to take an order or whatever, I will stop, go over, wash my hands, proceed about the business, and then rinse and repeat almost every time. It's a habit. That's why I don't go through so many gloves. I just wash my hands so much that it's super dry. Kind of gross.
Yes, but so gloves for me are a necessity for speed.
Mm-hmm.
Because like say I was breading chicken with my bare hands. I know you said you use tweezers, but like say I was breading chicken with my bare hands. I would need, if I didn't use gloves, I would need to wash my hands between every single cutlet.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would cease to function.
Yeah.
So for me, I wear gloves because I can then do like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them before those gloves feel like they're loaded up enough where I then need to change gloves. And when I change gloves, I need to wash hands.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't do it. That's why they released the whole you need to wear the gloves. This is for people that do not think that they need to wash their hands.
It's also the reason why we can no longer use wood cutting boards in a kitchen. Nasty asses are the detriment to every fucking kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't want raw cuticles on my bechamel.
Gross. Gross.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think
I would love to go back. See, here's the thing I don't understand is like our health department in Minnesota says we're not allowed to have wooden cutting boards. But then they're okay with having those like wooden line cutting boards. You know, the kind that go on the cold station. I don't understand why we're allowed to have those, but I can't have just an individual like bamboo cutting board.
maybe appearance's sake. I don't know. My state allows it. You're fine. But we also don't need to in our area. We don't need to keep color coded cutting boards. We're okay.
We need to have those in every single restaurant.
Yeah, it all just depends.
Those nasty ass plastic color coded cutting boards.
Yeah.
That nobody's replaced in like 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
That have gouge marks in them, and some of them are fucking heat warped because they've been washed so much.
Mm-hmm.
The one I want to buy the rubber ones.
Yeah.
The ones that weigh like 100 fucking pounds for a small one.
Yeah.
And you need to lift for the bigger ones.
I have 2 of those at the shop. That's what I use. The other one is just for protein, but like I don't even use it anymore. It's just
I cut with the same one for 2 months. I don't think I ever saw a cut in it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And they ran through the dishwasher just fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I never saw like that black buildup that you see on the plastic ones.
Mm-hmm. No, this one. So if you start to notice deeper grooves, if you say, there's a specific tool that you can, almost like a sanding paper. You just kind of sand the top. It removes the top layer so it even out again. You rewash it and it's almost brand new. So I have that too. A little sander.
If this owner of this small like bistro, I kind of want to tell him that he needs to redo his own fucking restaurant first. Like if you look up the Wooden Nickel, Marshall, Minnesota, his menu is so fucking large.
That's another one. One of my pet peeves is menu being like a diner. I hate it. It's too big.
Truck stop diners, I get. I don't know why, but truck stop diners, I kind of want a big menu. I want to go in there and see everything under the fucking stars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I think that's kind of their niche in that case. But like the Wooden Nickel, which he owns. 1 second, I'm gonna pull a Casey here.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I'm gonna look it up on the internet, on the interwebs. Pull it up to screen 3. Pull you over here. Because he just introduced breakfast, I think he said.
Okay.
Which is fine. I mean, if you really want to try to get in on the breakfast market, go ahead. But like, yeah, here. Denver breakfast bowl, Garden breakfast bowl, Cowboy breakfast bowl. So there's 3 breakfast bowls, there's 3. Breakfast platters, there's 6. Breakfast starters, there's 3. Entrees, 5. So on a breakfast menu, which I think should be 5 or 6 alone, he has 9, 12, 17 items. So he has like double. You know, like breakfast entrees, breakfast sandwich, hangover burger, country fried steak, steak and eggs. Okay, keep one of those. Breakfast burrito.
This is just breakfast stuff.
Yeah, breakfast tachos, cinnamon roll, caramel roll. Get rid of one of those. Keep caramel roll or cinnamon. Don't have both.
Too much.
Yeah. These breakfast platters, they're all named. I fucking hate when you name things. Just call it what it fucking is. I don't need you to call it something quirky that goes with your restaurant. The baby nickel. 1 egg, 1 meat, potato choice, a slice of toast. It's a single fucking egg order. 3 egg order. Why do you need a fucking cutesy name for your shit?
Because that's what sells, Jim. I call sometimes stuff like that just to make it like, ooh, it's the 10 movie bowl or some shit like that.
I'd be okay with that, but the baby nickel, the mama nickel, the papa nickel. Shut the fuck up. Name it the dime, the nickel, the dime, the quarter.
Yeah.
I could get that.
I still think it's too many breakfast items.
You're tying it. The 10 Momi bowl, if it's specifically yours, that I get. Hey, this is what we're known for. This is the 10 Momi bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But don't name it like the 10 Momi chicken platter. Or this is the Momi roll.
I'm gonna release it now. The Momi bowl, the rice Momi bowl.
No, the Momi roll, like a soft,
Yeah.
soft bao bun with some char siu in it. The Momi roll.
Oh my god! Can we talk about char siu real quick?
Yes, please.
I had 3 comments on the YouTube stuff. They're like, as a Japanese person, first of all, stop right there. Okay, I don't care where you are. Everyone has their own thing of making it. But like, First of all, I didn't specifically say chashu like the Japanese would. I specifically said it in the Chinese form and spelled it the Chinese way because that's how we do it in Chinese.
I thought char siu was Chinese.
It is. It is.
I thought it was adapted from.
Right.
I thought the Japanese adapted it from a Chinese meal.
No, it is. That's exactly what
Then
it
shut the fuck up.
is. In my brain, that's what I was thinking. But I immediately, I was just like, no, they don't get it already. But the way I show you is not even Chinese the way they do it. It's Chinese in flavoring, but it's literally
technique.
it's literally a Filipino technique. So
Oh,
it
is
just
it Filipino?
confuses the fuck out of everyone on how to make it. So I was just like,
Yeah, but not to insult your heritage, but I think Filipino is just like, since they were like essentially in their early days conquered by almost every single fucking civilization, their cooking style is just a little bit of everything of all of our conquerors put into one.
yeah, no, you're not wrong. Literally,
Hey,
that's
we got Chinese flavor with Japanese technique and Spanish spices and
yeah, that's that's exactly what it is. So I was just like, this is how I do it at the restaurant. And these three people just, obviously to their note, because they think it comes from their country. As a Japanese person, blah blah blah. I get it, but it's not. So for me, I just laugh at it. It is what it is. I just found it hilarious. I just
to
keep
me
on.
that falls in the same realm as people from Buffalo saying you can't get good wings outside of Buffalo, or somebody out of Philly saying you can't get a good cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Once again, I have to argue. If I have somebody who since he was 12 years old has done nothing but buffalo wings in Buffalo, New York, and now as a 65-year-old man, he decides to retire to Phoenix, Arizona.
It's a 65-year-old man.
And then decides, you know what? I wasn't ready to retire. So he opens up a buffalo wing restaurant in Phoenix, Arizona, and makes them the exact same way that he made them in Buffalo, New York. Why then do people from Buffalo insist that those aren't real buffalo wings? Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying. It's the same thing with the ramen stuff. Like, this is not ramen. I was like, I know. This is just my take on it.
I still want to find. I don't want to go back on Netflix just to find who it was, but there's a white guy who's really good with ramen. I thought that's in your neck of the woods.
Ivan Ramen. He's Jewish. He does chicken ramen specifically. He's amazing.
Yeah. Have you met him yet?
I haven't met him. I've eaten at his restaurant twice. It's great. He's awesome.
By the way, I was speaking to Carlos the other day. How do you feel about David Chang still?
No more. X'd him.
Yeah.
I threw away his book. I was that appalled. I had so many because of the whole chili crunch thing.
I'm missing this. Carlos said this too. What was this?
Okay, so I didn't realize that. I think it was in the 90s. Someone already bought the license for the name Chili Crunch, but she at the time didn't necessarily enforce it because it's a chili crunch. It's like a normal term.
What's it?
So chili crunch is like an Asian condiment that we specifically serve on the side to put on your dumplings, whatever soup.
Is it like fried chili flakes or something?
Essentially, and a oil. So let's just say a spicy oil.
Kind of like the drama oil?
Correct.
Okay. Now I'm tracking.
So when her, or rather I should say Chang and corporate bought her license, so now they own it. So when the whole chili crunch game started to get more popularized during the pandemic-ish, It was last year that someone is selling even more chili crunch than he did. I think that's what happened, in my opinion. He then sued, not necessarily sued or released a statement. Please stop using the word chili crunch in your selling or the marketing because they own it per se, etc. And
That
then the
sounds
whole
reasonable.
correct. The whole internet went into fucking flames against Chang. It's like, how dare you claim chili crunch? And then people didn't know. That's what happened. We kind of dug about it, and so now they backed off. They don't want to. They don't want to enforce said rule because it's chili crunch. You don't own the word chili crunch, but legally they do own it. They bought the name, just like Taco Tuesdays.
So I don't get why everyone's against him then, because I bought Chili Crunch that this woman originated,
Mm-hmm.
which would imply that I have copyright on the term Chili Crunch. I would
Yeah.
like to sell it under my brand. Could you please rename yours? I'm not telling you to stop selling it.
Yeah.
Rename yours, call it whatever else you want, but I'd like exclusive rights to call it Chili Crunch. That sounds reasonable.
Yes, and kind of no. So I think that's what people are against it because you shouldn't own the word chili crunch. It's synonymous to a normalized term that they shouldn't have allowed it to begin with in the first place. That's the whole kind of argument about it.
I couldn't open a company and produce Q-tips specifically.
Correct, because Q-tips own it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. The word Q-tips. Yep.
So I could produce cotton swabs. I'd have to call them something else. Isn't Chili Crunch legally isn't Chili Crunch under the same thing then?
It's the same thing, but the Asians had a fit when his company tried to sue the other Asian company.
Oh, he tried to sue them. Oh, I was under the impression that he just sent a letter saying, "Hey, I own Chili Crunch. Could you please stop calling it Chili Crunch?"
Well, that too. That's like part of the lawsuit. Well, the beginning.
No, but I thought that's all it was. I didn't know it got into legal realms.
It got into legal. So let's say someone else started to use drama oil. Since I own the name, I can legally and I should go after them, be like, hey, please stop using the word drama oil because I own it. But mind you, it's not known enough, nor is normalized enough that everyone knows the word drama oil, if that makes any sense. Like, let's say this belonged to.
Not yet.
Not yet. But like this belongs in like a normalized society. Everyone knows what drama oil is, and it's a normal condiment, like salt and pepper. You shouldn't own the rights for it, if that makes any sense.
Well, those are botanical and chemical names. Sorry, I'm not a lawyer. I'm a
No. Correct. But this is how I guess this is the way the system is fucked up because if I don't go after them, it's showing that I don't care about my name.
Both sides.
Correct.
I do think it's kind of dickish that he decided to.
Well,
I do think it's kind of dickish that he took it to court essentially, but
yeah,
I could see if I like if drama oil did become more common, and then I bought your drama oil from you, I could see where I'd want to be like, hey, call it burnt garlic oil, call it chili oil, call it whatever you want, but drama oil I just bought. I want to be the only one to call mine drama oil. I just spent a lot of money on it. So I can kind of see David Chang's point of view, and I can see everyone else too.
Yeah.
Like,
that's how I felt about it. But also he's not the one. Well, at least I don't think so. He has a CEO. He doesn't own his company anymore. He's just there as a figurehead now. So his CEO is the one enacting this and sending out said forms.
So then I even less see why everyone's against him.
Yeah.
Carlos made it sound like there's a lot more that he's done that's kind of.
So here's the other what you did.
Like
what you did
another one who got into his own bullshit.
Everyone that had worked for Chang is saying the same thing about him. And I know several people that have worked for him. They're all saying that he is a piece of crap. He is that type of person.
Oh.
So, yeah. So I don't know. Do I care? Very little of it, but enough so that I got so pissed off I threw out his book. So I no longer mess with the Chankster, I should say.
I kind of almost went
with Asian culture. Means that, yes, that too, 100%, 100%.
Okay.
So what a lot of my colleagues are saying, he is literally that type of person, and he's only in it for himself. So much like that comment.
Okay. And okay, thank you, because I don't follow the Asian side of our industry. I've always said that I'm good with the Anglo side of our industry, and I kind of stick with it. I don't want to go out and like learn Mexican cuisine or any of those Hispanic cuisines. I don't want to learn any of the Asian cuisines because I end up screwing them up every single time, and I just don't want to put the time and effort into trying to master them when I know my lane essentially.
Yeah.
You know, I leave if I want good, like I'll use you as an example. If I want good ramen, I'm not going to try to learn. Although I do want to steal your broth recipe if you'll let me, just because
steal away.
If I lived closer to you, I would definitely buy yours by the gallons any day. But like I said, I bought the stupid tonkatsu stuff from Sam's, and that tastes like cardboard.
Oh.
Literally, it tastes like I'm drinking the cardboard.
Yeah. Steal away. That's what I always say.
You know how like when you have like a beef or chicken broth and you put a slurry in just at first and it turns that milky whitish gross look? That's how their tonkatsu looks.
Yeah. It's tough. Mofuga Las Vegas, he was mostly there just to be there, and he more times than not steals ideas from the valley. Everyone in Vegas stays away from Momo, El Mugbar, and Harvest. So okay, so you're probably someone that has worked or know of people that had worked with him. So it falls under the same, literally, at what everyone's saying to me too.
Yeah,
so,
that's too bad.
Sad. I looked up to him. So I
You
just felt
did. I remember early on in the pandemic, I was like taking active steps on his TikTok page to bring you into his purview.
Yeah. The pork sam wasn't even his idea. Yeah, I could see that.
I think I'll defend him on that though. I think I'll defend him on that because that's kind of an industry standard that if somebody under you, if like you are the name of the restaurant and somebody under you comes up with an idea and you decide to put it on your menu, you do kind of take credit for it.
Oh, I know. That was the other thing that's kind of sketchy. So like I didn't find this out in my corporate. If Sean is still on the chat, I released quite a few of dishes in the menu. And at one point, I remember talking to one of the higher execs. They're like, "Hey, you're making this special. It's selling a little more than usual. What are you doing, etc." Okay, he's here. Like we own it essentially. That's what they're saying. I was like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do X, Y, Z," and they wrote a spec for it and they released it to Boston corporate as a special. And then I finally
corporate,
the main corporate house, like as a
standard in Boston.
In Boston.
Yeah, I thought you said. I was like, I thought you worked for Cheesecake Factory. Now you're talking. You work for Boston Market.
No, not Boston. But like essentially, they had. I didn't know they had the rights to take my idea because I released it in their building, and I signed out contracts saying they own the stuff. This is in my younger days. I had no idea.
It's a owner of Alinea. Why is his? It's early in the morning.
Oh, God damn it! I don't remember his name, but yes. Oh, let me look for it.
In his, let me look.
Grant Achatz.
Yeah, Grant. I thought it was a Shots. Is it
And
Ackett's?
Hackett's, yeah.
I mispronounced his name to his face then.
You said a shots.
I called him Grant. I called him Chef of Shots because I went over there for 2 days when I worked at Ever. Because all those guys worked for each other at one point.
I mean, they're same group.
Yeah, and I would have never called him Chef Grant. No. At that level, you don't call them by their first fucking name. No. But maybe that's me.
So that's all the same.
I know. But oops. Ackett's.
Hackett. Grant Hackett. So yeah, back to the Chang stuff. That's why all of in the Asian realm were mad against him about trying to enforce said trademark for the name Chili Crunch, even though he legally owns it. But we all know how the system is broken. We can't necessarily.
Okay, I get that. He bought it. He should have relied on the fact that he had a superior product rather than the name.
But here's part 3 to that. What you just said. He doesn't have a superior product. His Chili Crunch is The other company who he kind of went against, which is Mila, by the way, has.
Oh, she worked for him.
He's in person now. I was there for 6 months. There you go. See, you worked for him. So the company Mila is outperforming his Chili Crunch because their Chili Crunch actually crunches, if that makes sense. Like when you eat it, superior texture, superior taste, superior product to his actual Momo Chili Crunch, which is kind of bland.
What's the texture like? Is it like puffed rice or fried rice? Puffed rice?
No. So imagine my oil with like a definitive, let's say the crunch is like a panko. Like it crunches in your mouth.
Okay. And is it more solid materials than oil or more oil than solid material?
It's more solid materials than oil.
So like if you would shift your ratios of your shallots and garlic and chilies to oil?
Yeah, so if I added, I want to say like 30% more of the harder stuff, like the actual veggies, and then instead of cooking raw to oil, I would dehydrate first and then add into oil so it retains the crunch even further.
So I have that. Do you still have that freeze dryer?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I do not. But that's how you would get that texture specifically if you were to get the crunch to stay even longer than as it should. That's why the other company was outperforming him. And so like when you look up Chili Crunch in SEO, and I think this is partly why they went after him. On SEO specifically, like if you type it into Google, the other company pops up more than what his is.
That must piss him the fuck off.
Yeah, that's exactly, in my opinion, what happened. That's exactly what I thought.
His own bullshit, and he can go fuck himself.
That's exactly what I think had happened. So his CEO got mad, or whatever, vice versa. They're like, this company is outperforming us. Whatever, we need to do something about it. Let's go after them because we have the rights to that name.
So basically, the Asian community feels about David Chang the way I feel about anybody on Food Network.
There you go.
Anybody on Food Network.
Yeah, we can
Guy Fieri can go fuck himself.
Yeah, cool dude though. From what my colleagues are saying, he's a cool person. But like,
see, my colleagues that have known him that I've heard of said he steals fucking recipes.
Crunched by a crunchier crunch.
Crunch. Crunchier than the Crunch Wrap.
I mean, I don't we all steal though? So like, it's one of those. But I think
yes and no. Like, if you and I owned restaurants, and I went to your restaurant, provided you weren't in like my same market, and you did something that I like, I might take inspiration on it. And depending on the dish, I might even like use that dish. Like, oh, he made I don't even fucking know. It's too early in the morning for me.
Sure.
I swear to God, you'd think that I didn't know anything about this industry.
It's okay.
Anyway, and I decided to put it on my menu because you're not in my market. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
but from what I heard, he would take somebody's exact recipe. Like he was using diners, drive-ins, and dives, not broadcasting because you're not going to broadcast every place you go to.
Of course.
And he would get like their exact recipe, then put it on their menu and not credit them with it and take the credit for it.
That's messed up.
That I have a problem with. Like if I would get your tonkatsu broth recipe and you basically taught me exactly how to do a tenmomi style restaurant, and I took all your recipes, opened up my own ramen shop over here and said, this is my recipes.
Yeah. I mean, you could. I don't care.
Your friendship over, though.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's a two-part question. Like, for me, I'm more honored that you took my recipe, you know? But for everyone else, kind of, I think they would feel otherwise.
I just want I would never. I have a problem. Like, there's a guy out here. He's dead now, and he actually worked under me under the Wilmot Steakhouse.
He's dead.
And he used to be. He is, unfortunately, and he used to be known for his onion rings. And he got a documentary somewhere online that you can watch.
Oh.
And he was known for these onion rings. I had the recipe. And after he died, I could have made them. I've now lost the recipe, I think kind of on purpose, because I just think it's unethical.
Oh, yeah, I would assume so.
So like when I ask you for your tonkatsu recipe, it's literally so I can make like, hey, here's my recipe, and it's gonna make like 5 gallons of the crap. And I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna divide this by 5, and I'll make a gallon of it for my family. But if I ended up getting this new restaurant that I want to open, I would never put that on the menu. I'd be like, if I really want tonkatsu as a special, how can I alter this enough where it is not his broth?
Yeah.
Or I would rename it like the Tenmomi broth.
Yeah, you could.
In my mind, I would either need to alter the recipe enough where it was no longer yours, or I would have to credit you.
Yeah. So I think this is where we're both in the same kind of like mindset. So I had on my private menu, there is this one dish that I not necessarily verbatim took from another restaurant, but I messaged the chef because I knew him personally. I was like, hey, Bill, I'm taking your bao recipe. He does they call it bread service, right? They just took the baos and like pan fried it instead and use that as a bread to start your course with. And they sub it with the bao. I think it's genius. It tastes great. I was like, hey, is it how I think you serve it? So I gave him my quick analysis thought of it. And he's like, no, it's literally that. But he gave me the actual proportions of the recipe. I was like, okay, cool. Just FYI, I'm going to release this for my private menu. And I know that you will see it online, but I'm going to mention to them when I make it, this is not for me. I'm literally blatantly taking it from another restaurant, which is yours, and just tweaking it enough that it's my flavors. He's like, I don't give a fuck. You do what you want. So it's the same.
Even if that was the case, if I had another chef and I liked yours really a lot, I'd like to put it on the menu, and he went, yeah, sure, go ahead. I'm gonna tell him that it's yours. No, I don't care. Then I'd be okay with going, I don't need to credit him. I don't need to because I have his permission.
Yeah. No, same. So we're in the same boat. So I think I
would. Oh crap! I gotta go. I got a haircut that I have to get to.
Oh,
I just noticed that we've been on for 2.5 hours.
For a while, yes, for a while.
All right.
You are good.
When are you in the shop today?
Not till later, like 3-ish.
If you want, hit me up. Maybe we'll do this again because after my haircut, I'm just doing paperwork and chemical analysis and stuff.
Well, no, you're good. Go get a haircut. You're fine.
All right. See ya.
Thanks.
How do I get out of this?
I have no idea. So I think you just hit the live and like bounce or something.
Yep. There we go.
Okay, there you go. Oh, what a fun day. So I just, for everyone, sent in for Sean too. I didn't know you could do that on YouTube, so we're doing this on YouTube. Because on TikTok specifically, like you can invite people to go on your chat. But to answer Harvest real quick, what is something I'm using less of, and something you're using more of, pepper, like black pepper. I don't use it as much. So you're using more salt. Anyway, I think I should go too, but maybe I'll continue later again. This is fun. Maybe I'll bring another chef in to chat, but good experience nonetheless. All right, peeps. Thank you, and I'll see you.